This is the Kia EV9. It's Kia's new all-electric flagship. It's bigger, more powerful and more expensive than the Kia Sorento. In fact, it's probably the most ambitious car Kia has ever made. Prices start from around £64,000 for the rear-wheel drive model, but we're testing the 4x4 in GT line spec, which costs more like £72,000. It has a 2.6 tonne curb weight and an official range of 313 miles. Is this the electric car that caravanners have been waiting for? Well, to find out, we're going to go towing. When we've finished with the caravan, we'll consider what it's like to drive from day to day, how well it performs in terms of running costs and value for money, and we'll take a close look inside the cabin. Only when we've done all of those things will we deliver our verdict.
When you've watched the video, please do remember to click like and to subscribe to the Camping and Caravanning Club's YouTube channel. Click on the notification button to make sure you never miss a video again. For our towing test, we're using a Bailey Discovery D44, weighing 1,102 kilograms, which the club has on long-term test. The weight of the Bailey is well within the car's 2.5 tonne maximum braked trailer weight, which is very high for an electric vehicle.
The first thing that strikes you when you tow with the EV9 is just how easy and quick it is. It really does make towing seem effortless. It has 516 pounds-feet of torque, which is a hell of a lot. In fact, to put it in context, it's roughly double what you'd expect of a typical 2-litre turbo diesel in a family car. So it really does shift along at a great rate of speed. Now, you're probably thinking, well, the Bailey, that's not a very big, not a very heavy caravan, and you'd be right. But at the Tow Car Awards earlier in the year, we've tested this same car towing a much heavier Adria caravan, and it still pulled very quickly, very confidently, and had absolutely no trouble with a much heavier caravan. It puts all that power to the road very easily too, being four-wheel drive, which is great if you need to make a hill start in bad weather, or if you need to pull away from a junction in a hurry. It's stable at speed too, which is obviously more important than the acceleration. It's the thing we look for above everything else in a tow car, and stability really is first rate in this car. Even if you're towing at 60 miles an hour in very breezy weather, or you're in the disturbed air around high-sided vehicles, the Kia just tows straight and true.
The big Kia impresses in everyday driving too.
Without the weight of a caravan, the EV9's acceleration is even more vivid. Put your foot down and it really does pin you back into your seat. But on the other hand, if you prefer to drive more gently, you can just sit back, relax and enjoy the calm, quiet and comfort. It's not quite perfect though. On the 21-inch alloys fitted to GT line spec, you are jostled around a little bit over the bumps around town, although the ride does improve at speed and become more comfortable. And the driver assistance systems are always beeping and bonging at you and can become quite distracting.
Let's have a closer look in the cabin.
You sit up nice and high in the front of the EV9, and there is plenty of adjustment for both the steering wheel and the driver's seat. As you'd expect at this price point, all the adjustment is electric. The same applies to the passenger seat, that has electric adjustment too. You have on this specification a memory function for the seat, so you can store your favoured position and return to it if someone else has been driving the car at the push of a button. In front of you, there's a twin screen display, one screen taking care of the information you normally get from conventional set of dials, and the other screen for your infotainment system. In isolation, the screens look great, but if you've ever sat in a car like, let's say, the BMW iX, you'll know that there's another level. The iX twin screen displays are super vivid, super crisp and clear, and the setup in the EV9 isn't quite at that kind of level. There are lots of good points though. I'm really pleased to see that there are separate physical controls for the air conditioning, so you can easily adjust the temperature and the fan speed. You don't have to go through a menu and the touch screen. You don't have to take your eyes from the road for more than a moment or two. you're well taken care of in terms of storage space as well. There are big door bins. There's this handy open storage area at the base of the center console. You've got twin cup holders, more storage under the armrest, a wireless charging pad for compatible mobile phones, and USB-C ports here on the center console. So that's the front of the car. Those in the middle row of seats are almost as comfortable as those in the front. So let's go and take a look. So, as you can see, there's loads of space back here, both in terms of leg room and headroom. You get plenty of room. This driver's seat is set up for me. I'm 6'3", and as you can tell, I've got plenty of room to stretch out. So if you've got a shorter passenger and maybe a shorter driver, there'll be even more room. Another good thing to note, and one of the plus points of an electric vehicle, is with no transmission tunnel, you've got a flat floor, which will really help out if you're travelling with 3 passengers sat across the middle row. There are lots of nice practical details. So on this specification, you've got separate air conditioning controls for those in the back. There are USB ports tucked away here in the front seats for those in the back to use. You've got twin cup holders, decent sized door bins, not as big as those in the front, but they're perfectly useful. And there's a drop down armrest with yet more cup holders should you need another pair of drinks. If you're travelling with younger children rather than teenagers or adults, there are Isofix mounting points in the outer middle row seats to keep children in their child seats nice and secure. So, middle row, very, very roomy. What about the third row? Well, let's take a look. So, with this portion of the middle seat folded, hopefully now you can see seats 6 and 7. Now, there isn't as much room in there. You're not going to want, as an adult, certainly to travel from one end of the country to the other sat in the very back. But the important thing to remember is that the middle row slides backwards and forwards. So as long as those in the middle don't mind giving up a little bit of their extensive legroom, they're actually quite usable. They're not just for tiny kids. They're not just for emergency use. They are a usable pair of extra seats. So that's the middle row and the back of the car. Let's go and take a look in the boot. So, with the third row upright with seats 6 and 7 in place, there's still a reasonable amount of boot space for, say, doing a weekly shop, something like that. But for a touring holiday, for a big family, if you're going to be using all 7 seats, realistically you are going to want to invest in a roof box. But if you're a family of 4 or 5 and you can lower these seats down, which you do at a push of a button, then you end up with a very generous luggage space. It really is extremely spacious. The tow ball on our test car is a detachable tow bar. It's not one of those drop-down push-button tow bars, which really you might expect at this price point. So maybe that's a little disappointing. What's not disappointing is the healthy nose weight limit of 125 kilograms. That's a good usable figure for a car of this size and weight. It would be nice though if the electrics weren't tucked quite so far under the bumper. You do have to really kneel down and reach quite a long way to slot the plug home.
Talking of electrics, we're yet to discuss the car's real-world range and recharging. Well, at the Tow Car Awards towing an Adria weighing 1,750 kilos, we found the car achieved 1.2 miles per kilowatt hour. That gives a range of 114 miles or so. The EV9 is capable of 350 kilowatt ultra-rapid charging to add 70% charge to the battery in just 24 minutes, but you'll need to find somewhere to securely leave your caravan while charging.
As with all the electric cars we've towed with, the EV9's range while towing and the practical challenges of recharging when you've got a caravan with you do count against it. It's also a very expensive car, but otherwise it really does set a new benchmark for electric tow cars. It's quick, it's practical, and it's stable. No wonder it's been named the best electric tow car at the Tow Car Awards 2024.
When you've watched the video, please do subscribe to the Camping and Caravanning Club's channel if you haven't already. Click on the notification button and you'll never miss any of the club's tow car, caravan, camping and motorhome content. If you've enjoyed the video, feel free to click on the thumbs up button to like it and let us know what you think in the comments.